Rideshare buddy out on the road, helping each other lighten the load. Tips and tricks, yeah, the knowledge flows in this grind where the journey glows.
Hi and welcome back to the channel. This is Rideshare Buddy UK and my name's Kevin. Today I'm just going to do a short run around on Uber for a few hours before I head off to the airport for a pickup at Bristol, coming back to Cardiff. Private work, so that's not too bad. I'm going to head off to Bristol Airport a little bit early because I need to go down to the farm shop that's just down the road from the airport to do a bit of purchasing and get a few pies and some meat and the like. But first, what I have to do is to figure out what's going on with this battery on the car, because I'm hoping I haven't got a battery issue. I'm hoping it's just a calibration issue, but we shall see. I've got my OBD dongle out and I've plugged it into the car. Got the car scanner loaded up. What I'm going to do is go down to BP now and do a full 100% charge and have a look at what energy is in the battery. That's one way of doing it. So I'm going to have a quick look at that. That's the easiest way for me to do. I can see how much energy is in the battery after 100% charge, and I'm able to see if there's any issues with any of the battery cells. What happened was, ever since I done that Falmouth run, I have had a big drop in mileage on my charge, or displayed mileage. And I'm hoping that this is a calibration issue, because when I did that Falmouth job, I had to charge up 3 times. One when I started, one on the way back, and one when I finished to get charged up for the next day. Now, because I was hitting the generous side of 70, I was only getting 3.5 miles to the kilowatt hour, as opposed to 4. So I'm hoping that that's what's causing the issue. Maybe the car is still operating on my drive, because the Ioniq 5 mileage adapts to your driving style. So if you're a heavy driver with a foot down style driving, it will show on the estimated mileage range. So I'm hoping it's still sort of doing that estimated driving range of me doing 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, as opposed to my normal, which is about 4.2, especially in this weather. So I should be hitting 300 on 100% charge. But when I did my last 100% charge a couple of days ago, it said 270 miles, and that's a big drop. So I need to do a quick bit of research on this, get it plugged in, find out if it's displaying how much energy is remaining. Usable energy on this should be between 74 and 75 kilowatt hours. If it's not showing that, we may have a problem. I've done 90,500 miles, so I'm only 9,000 miles away from the 100,000 mile guarantee on the battery. So it needs to be sorted, need to get checked. If I can't work out what's going on, it's got to go and get professionally assessed, because I want to make sure if there is an issue, it's covered and recognised during the warranty of 100,000 miles. We'll see what happens. Now, my problem is, from what research I've been able to do, to battery calibrate on Hyundai, including the Ioniq 5, you have to let the power drop below 20% and then charge up to 100%. But that charging must be on AC power. I don't have AC power. I have no home charging. I only have fast chargers. So that means I'm going to have to find some way of getting this plugged into an AC charger, which could take 10 hours. I'm not going to leave it at the car overnight anywhere. The closest overnight chargers we have is in a high crime rate area. I've seen cars trashed there. I won't park up there. So I'm going to have to try and figure out some way of getting this plugged into an AC charger for 10 hours or more to charge up to 100%. Somewhere safe, not somewhere that's going to get trashed by the local druggies who think there's £3.50's worth of copper in the cable, so they'll yank the cable out, destroying your cable port on your car, which is going to cost you thousands to put right. So that's an issue I have, but let's deal with one thing at a time. Let's get this charged up to 100% at an ultra charger. I'm going to the BP and we'll have a look at the figures on the car scanner, no BD dongle, to see if I can see anything on that. But yeah, first time I've ever had any concerns about this car going wrong. Let's see what happens. Right, so actually I'm hoping it might have sorted itself out, because if I look at 165 miles already in the battery at 53%, that's coming out at about 300 miles, so that should be about right. So maybe it's adjusted itself, I don't know. But we're going up to 100%, 47 minutes, so it shouldn't take too long. Let's just get it sorted and see if anything needs fixing. Now, I've come to the BP garage to do a charge up to 100%, because the last 5 or 6 times I've been down to Tesla. This is at both Celtic Manor and also down at Cribbs Causeway. The charge has stopped straight away automatically at 82%. This is even when I've got the car to turn off at 90%. The pumps itself turns off at 82%. So whether or not Tesla pumps or chargers are set up to only deliver that 80% charge, I don't know. But last 5 or 6 times it's cut out at 82%. Well, I've got the dongle plugged in. These so-called 150 chargers have not been working great recently. They've been doing 60 kilowatts charging, which is not great for 150. But let's open up my car scanner app, get connected up, and we'll have a look through the things. Connect. Turn on Bluetooth. Then we'll go to diagnose trouble codes. Dashboard. Well, all of the battery groups seem to be working okay. There doesn't seem to be too much of an issue with the battery codes, the groups of batteries, the modules. Also to be although I'll be quite honest, I know absolutely nothing of what I'm looking at. I'm just spitting in the wind when it comes to this app. It's showing me all sorts of information, but I don't know anything about what it actually is. But nothing's flashing red, or appears to be. So that's what I want to look at, is the remaining energy. 57%, and it's saying 37,266 watt hour. I want to see that up and around the 74, 75 mark once I'm at 100%. And I don't think it's going to make it. Because if I'm at 57% and it's already 37, that's going to come in the high 60s. So I may have an issue with battery degradation. We'll see. I mean, I've done 90,000 miles. So, yeah, I'll have a look through this and I'll come back later. It's okay. It looks as though I was in a panic for nothing. It looks as though it was that adaptive range taking place based on the 3.5 miles per kilowatt that I was doing on the motorway. But some interesting things. Anyway, we'll look at the mileage that I've got at 100% just a moment. I think this is the page I want. As you can see, it says there, if you can see it, state of health 100%, but it's not. I'm not quite sure why it's reading like that, but I've read on forums that that's the way Hyundai does on with car scanner. What you want to look at is the remaining energy, just oops, remaining energy just down there. It says 68 kilowatts hour. This car has a 79 kilowatt hour battery. Its usable energy is between 74 and 75 kilowatt hour. After 90,000 miles, after 90,549 miles, this battery is holding 68 kilowatts, just over 68 kilowatts. So 90,000 miles, I've lost between 6 and 7 kilowatt hour in degradation, which is less than 10%. So that's not bad for 90,000 miles. I'm happy with that. Let's have a quick look at the mileage, and you'll see I was just panicking for no reason. So there we are at a 100% charge. I've got 327 miles based on 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is my normal sort of average, between 4.2 4.5. I do go up to 4.8 if I have some decent tyres, and that's 90,449 miles. So claimed range for this car is 330 miles, and I've got 327 in the clock. So I was really just panicking about nothing, but it was good worthwhile doing that exercise to see what the true state of the battery is. If I've only lost between 6 and 7 kilowatts hour, I'm not going to moan about that. I'm 90,000 miles. So it is absolutely sweltering. It's 26 degrees C. First thing I need to do, because I'm really sweating like a pig, is go down to Tesco's and buy some antiperspirant and freshen myself up for customers. Then we'll get on to Maximo and Uber, and I'll tell you whether I'm going to renew my membership with Maximo in just a few minutes. Right, so it's 10 to 1. I've just had my quick Tesco's meal deal and got some antidepressants or anti-deodorants. So it's smelling all nice and fresh for the passengers. Heading down to Randstad Dufferin now to start my shift. 10 to 1, Thursday, 19th, something like that. So I'll start at 1 o'clock. I'm going to work till about 3:30. I need to be at Bristol Airport for about 5 o'clock, but I want to do a bit of shopping at the farm shop. So I'll head off to Bristol Airport at 3:30, get there at about 4:30, 4:45. So the question is, am I going to keep my membership of Maximo at £7.60 a month when it comes up for renewal, or am I going to go with Maestro, which is free? I'm going to go with Maximo. I'm going to pay the money. Maestro has a better user interface, and I really like the ability to look at your job once you've accepted a job on Uber, and you can see all the details there. I really like that ability. But I just find Maximo is just smoother in operation and more reliable in operation than Maximo. So I'm sticking with Maximo. So quite good. Since I've been using Maximo, I've averaged between £22 and £25 an hour on shift time. It has really boosted my pay by at least 20-25%, provided I let the app do the work and I don't keep interfering with it. So, yeah, I am going to be keeping on with Maximo, and that brings me on to a really nice report that I read in The Guardian. It's also featured in Taxi Point, and it's also been on the ITV News. But The Guardian seems to have the better or more details about the report. Research done by the University of Oxford into driver pay in the UK for Uber drivers and how it has gone down since dynamic pricing. And I fully accept that. some of the figures they were quoting were what I was doing before I started with Maximo. With Maximo, I've been able to set pretty much my price and just do the jobs that are financially worthwhile doing. But let's just park up down at the Asda, switch the apps on, and we'll have a quick look at this University of oh, excuse me, you've got major hay fever. I'm going to have to stop off and get some hay fever tablets. I ran out last night. I meant to buy some earlier. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Let's get back to this, get parked up at Asda. Then we'll have a look at this Guardian report and some of the figures that the University of Oxford have been able to glean by working with 258 private hire drivers, Uber drivers in the UK. Got them to get Uber to provide them with all their information and data and rights through the GDPR rights. And they analysed, I think it's 1.5 million rides or something. We'll have a look when we get parked up. And the figures are quite astounding, really. But I will say this, if you download Maximo or Maestro, or whichever one you want to work with, you can make a big difference on your earnings. Mine are up by about 30%, 25, 30%. I'm averaging now online time, not active time, £22 to £25 an hour. And we only have UberX that I can drive for in Newport. It's either UberX or UberX Priority. There is no comfort. So it really is down to picking the right jobs, which the app does for me. As I say, provided I don't interfere and jump on the job instead. Okay, this is a story. I'll put a link to it below. I think The Guardian has probably the best roundup of the research. So the findings are released today by academics at the University of Oxford. They analysed data provided by 258 UK Uber drivers. This is UK, not America, responsible for 1.5 million trips. So it said that initially Uber used to take a fixed 20% cut of the UK fares, which was when they first started. Then they introduced dynamic pricing in 2023, and Uber is now claiming a cut or take rate of 29% of a fare, rising to more than 50% in some cases. So this is the way it is. Unions criticised the move when it made it in 2023, claiming there was no transparency and its technology would push down working conditions by targeting drivers based on their willingness and ability to accept low fares. The Oxford research said post-dynamic pricing, Uber passengers now pay higher prices, but the drivers are not better off. So it was published in partnership with the Workers' Info Exchange. So average pay per hour on the app is stagnant and is lower in real terms in the year following the introduction of dynamic pricing. No disagreements there. Uber's median take rate per driver has increased from 25% to 29%, and on some trips the take rate is over 50%. Furthermore, the higher take rates are concentrated among higher fare trips, which explains how Uber can extract an additional 38% income from its drivers' labour on average. Many drivers are earning substantially less per hour. So let's go through a bit more. So the Oxford research added that drivers' average hourly pay was £29.46 using an Uber definition. This is £29.46 active time where you're on a trip, or £15.98 if counting waiting time when they made themselves available to pick up passengers. Neither average takes into account costs, including vehicle maintenance, insurance, or fuel. Now that £15.98 is really the figure we as drivers should be looking at. You know, we go out to do a day's work, we expect a day's pay, not a half day's pay. £15.98, take off your expenses from that. In this case, about £7 an hour. That brings it down to what, £8 an hour after expenses. Certainly no holiday pay there, and certainly no living wage there. The biggest issue I have is that the union, or the Workers' Information Exchange, or whoever they are at the moment, wants drivers to be paid for waiting time. That will ruin this job, because if that goes through, and this is going to be happening in the new employment bill, could happen in the new employment bill, it means Uber will allocate shifts, and you'll have to bid on shifts, and the fastest finger will get a shift, and if you're a bit slow off the mark, you won't get any work at all. So that's a real big issue. Flexibility is the main reason why I work Uber. Being able to just come out and work when I want and go home when I want and not even bother turning up when I want. That is the biggest plus for Uber. And then I have to make it pay by choosing carefully which jobs are profitable and declining jobs which aren't profitable. That's the way to do it, because if everybody declined the jobs that were not profitable, Uber would then be forced to put up rates to ensure that their passengers got travel. That's the way it should be done. Well, of course, Uber drivers don't think like that. They just click on anything that comes through and then moan about not being paid enough. And then they go out and click on an 80 pence a mile job. So, yeah, no, it's not right. But I don't want to see minimum wage paid during waiting time. I want the flexibility of being able to come and go whenever I want. I don't want to have to bid on shifts 2 or 3 days in advance or a week in advance, because I don't know what I'm doing. So that would be really bad news. It really is down now for drivers to choose jobs which are profitable and jobs which aren't profitable. Just leave them. And then the laws of supply and demand will push up the price. Well, that's it. Let's get signed up. It's 1 o'clock, well, 1:05. I'm going to work till 3:30. Hopefully I might grab something out over towards Bristol Airport or Bristol Way, and we'll see what happens then.
Decline offer.
Okay, so that's about £1.38 a kilometre, but it's a good job just to get me going, and then we'll head off. Let's just turn off the overlay. A £24 job is a good one to get started. I may, once I'm in Cardiff, pick up Bristol Airport from one of the hotels. So let's get moving. Oh, 3.5 miles away. I didn't realise it was 3.5 miles away. But it's still a £25 job to start the day off with.
The engine hums as the sun beats down, driving through this busy town. South Wales, streets alive with tales, on these roads where time prevails. A suit climbs in, he's running late. The clock's his foe, the traffic's fate. A girl with dreams, she hums a tune to the airport now. Her flight's at noon. Passengers come, passengers go. Stories unravel, tales they show. Work or pleasure, engraved. The radio crackles, a friendly sound. Wheels roll steady, destiny bound. Sweat on the brow, but spirits high beneath the wide blue summer sky. A tourist asks for a scenic view. I drive them where the ocean's blue. The salty breeze, it fills the air. Moments like these, beyond compare. Passengers come, passengers go. Stories unravel, tales they show. Work or pleasure, paths they pave. On this hot Thursday, memories engraved. The radio crackles, a friendly sound. Wheels roll steady, destiny bound. Sweat on the brow, but spirits high beneath the wide blue summer sky. A tourist asks for a scenic view. I drive them where the ocean's blue. The salty breeze, it fills the air. Moments like these, beyond compare.
Right, it's 7:45. That was a bit of a pain of a job, that one, from Bristol Airport to Cardiff. Plane was half an hour late, and the M4 was chock-a-block. So it's done now, dropped off at Whitchurch in Cardiff. That was £85. I've done £102.10 on Uber. So that's £187.10. It's 7:45. By the time I get home, it's going to be 8 o'clock. So that's a 7-hour shift for £187.10. For those interested, I will have done about 162 miles for that. And I will have about 44% charge left. So I've used about 56% charge for today. Not too bad at all. Quite a good shift. Could have been half an hour earlier had it not been for that plane being delayed and the traffic on the M4. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Another good thing about using Maximo is I've not been quite so stressed because I've seen all these crap jobs coming through. I just don't see the jobs. Maximo kicks his mate before I sort of get upset over him, which means that my driver rating is now 4.99. Before I started using Maximo, I was at 4.96. So I've done really well. I've got one 4-star I need to get rid of and one 1-star I need to get rid of. If both of those goes to 5, I'll be back at for 5-star driver with 4,500 trips. Now my cancellation rate is 0% and my acceptance rate has gone up to 42%. It did drop as low as 19%, but it started to come up, and this is because now that I'm denying things on a regular basis, the app, well, your Uber algorithm and AI knows what I'm not going to take, so it doesn't offer me. So this is why I think some people, when they cherry pick, they say that the Uber app punishes them. It doesn't punish them. It just stops giving them work they're not going to take anyway. So it feels as though it's quieter. But I've gone from 19% at the low point back up to 42% using Maximo cherry picking. The Uber AI soon learns, and it soon learns what not to send you. It will send them to you on occasions just to see if you've changed your mind. But most of those jobs that you won't take won't get sent. So it appears that you're going quieter. It appears that you're being punished. But it's just that you're not being sent to work you don't want. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that little trip out today. Quite a short working shift, but well, 7 hours. That's about right for what I do, 6-7 hours. Good rate, 187 was it? And I'm a bit relieved that there's nothing wrong with the battery. So thank God for that. So thanks for watching. Till next time, take care, safe driving.